And I've got this kind of constant reminder to myself now all the time, which is you've got to look after yourself. You can't be a good leader unless you're making sure you're keeping yourself well.
Yeah. And I think especially in the beginning, but probably this never ends for any leader. Like there is a sense of unease, right? That will this work, or am I the right person for this, right? And for you, like you moved from being within an organization to leading an organization, which is a big change, right? At what point did you begin to get comfortable on your own skill, right? Because I have seen for myself that there's a lot of times where I'm seeking validation or I'm seeking results as proof, right? Okay, now I can do this job. But that
Yeah.
has a big cost from the inside. So for
Yeah.
you, how has that journey been to really be into the shoes of a leader, an entrepreneur, rather than just be part of a bigger umbrella?
So I think it's a journey that's you're always on. I don't think it's ever completely done. And there's definitely times when I still think I'm playing a bit of a game and somebody's going to pinch me and say, wake up now, you're not really old enough or mature enough to actually be doing this job. But I do think the role of chief exec is an interesting one because I've got a brilliant senior team that I work with, but ultimately I still line manage them. So I'm part of the team, but I'm not part of the team. And then I've got a brilliant board of trustees who are really supportive and challenging, but I'm not on the board. And that kind of bit where you're in the middle can be quite lonely at times. And I think so sometimes that's imposter syndrome, sometimes that's thinking that you want to make decisions by consensus because that feels easier. Sometimes it's like knowing that you can rest in the kind of authority that you've got of being the one who can make the decision. But my biggest thing has been the impact of surrounding myself with amazing peers in the sector. So other chief execs, other leaders who get it, champion each other, support you, the kind of people you pick the phone up to when you're like, oh gosh, I just don't know what to do. People that I've cried with and spoken to and sat and found solutions with. And so I think I'm not sure I've ever had a day when I think, oh, I'm brilliant at this job. I think I've had like lots of days when I think I just want to try the very hardest that I can to do the best that I can for my team, my organisation, the thing that we're here for. I don't know, maybe there are some leaders who have it nailed and have that feeling. I'm not sure that's me, to be honest.
Yeah. And like many times we overcompensate for that, right? Like you mentioned like last night, but what is it that you try very hard, like that nobody sees, right? Say something in you. Is it that imposter syndrome, or is it some fear or worry? What is it that becomes difficult where you put on a mask rather than be honest and totally you?
So I think my biggest thing is I'm somebody who likes to be liked. So I try and be a really values-based leader. I try and do the right thing. I try and be like open and honest and transparent. But then I know that sometimes you have to make really hard decisions and you can't always explain all the reasons behind the decisions that you're making. And what that means is if I go into a situation where I'm worried that people aren't going to agree with me or not necessarily agree with me, but aren't going to understand the process I've gone through to the decision I've got to, I can really overthink that. I can get myself, do you know that kind of horrible churny feeling that you get in your tummy sometimes when you're going into a meeting and you're feeling on the back foot or you're feeling nervous?